What's up, guys? So my name is Monica. I am a personal trainer, exercise physiologist, and a mama. I usually talk about all things health and fitness, but I wanted to actually go ahead and hone in on health and fitness during pregnancy. The reason I'm doing this is because during my pregnancy, my first pregnancy, and also my second pregnancy now that I'm in it, there have always been some sort of like unanswered questions for me. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of clear the air for some of those mamas out there who are either in their first pregnancy, or if you're an experienced mama having another, you're within another pregnancy, or you're thinking about getting pregnant. I want to kind of clear some things up because it can be very confusing sometimes to like pull up different articles and they kind of give you different answers. So I'm trying to, like I said, give you some peace of mind and just kind of narrow everything down so that it is easier for you to understand, and then also for you to get the key concepts to take away when it comes to your health and fitness during pregnancy. All right, so now that I have finished that, I'm going to go ahead and hop into second trimester nutrition. So second trimester normally starts at 14 weeks. So you've already made it this far, which is great. Biggest thing here that I want to talk about when it comes to your nutrition is that you're actually going to be increasing your caloric intake by this point in time. In a few articles that I read, there were kind of like varying amounts of calories you should be increasing per day. And that's really confusing, especially if you're a first-time mom. If you like go ahead and Google search it, you may find one article that says 100 calories. You may find one article that says 300 calories, and you're just like, okay, what do I do? So I'm going to go ahead and give you a range. So I would recommend go ahead and increasing your caloric intake by 200 to about 350 extra calories per day. So this gives you 150 calories of playroom, okay? So like I said, 200 to 350 extra calories per day. Now, biggest thing when it comes to extra calories is you need to be making sure that you are still choosing wise choices during your pregnancy. So even though you do need those calories, don't fill those calories up with like a cup of ice cream every night, 2 bags of chips every day, because that equals 300, about 350 calories. So like I said, you want to keep your snacks very mindful, so that you are able to give your baby the best nutrients for them to grow. And then also, again, to make the postpartum life easier for you, you don't want to be gaining all that unnecessary weight because you're eating ice cream or chips. Like, there is no nutrition density in there. You do get the extra calories, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting optimal nutrition, if that makes sense. So, like I said, you want to make sure that you are being mindful with your snacking. So things I'd recommend, this is going to be on my blog too. You can have like tuna fish with crackers if you can withstand tuna, yogurt with like granola and fruit mix. You can do like vegetables and hummus. Just those are kind of examples. Now, of course, if you want to like have a couple cookies one day, totally fine. Again, just kind of be mindful of it. Like just don't overdo the whole I'm just trying to get the calories in, if that makes sense. You want to be able to get these in a very healthy and nutrient dense way, not only to help you, but this is going to help your baby in the long run. So that is what the first thing you need to be working on in your second trimester, is making sure that you're increasing your caloric intake. Now, if you don't want to do a snack, what you can do if you're somebody that does 3-course meals, you can just add a little more protein to your meals, or a little more vegetables to your meals. So moving on from that point, second point I want to talk about is your calcium and iron supplement. So if you haven't already, you should already be on a prenatal vitamin. So if you haven't talked to an OB or anything at that point, you really need to go ahead and get checked out. Make sure you're taking a prenatal supplement. And then also make sure that you are taking a calcium and iron supplement on top of the prenatal. So I recommend this because it has been shown that iron and calcium aren't necessarily, like, the nutritional needs of those two supplements aren't met through your food sometimes. So it's always good to have that backup vitamin to just kind of like help you get through a low day, for example. So calcium is really good for bones, but also, which is really cool, if you plan to breastfeed after you give birth to your baby, calcium actually, so your breast milk actually comes from the calcium within your bones. So you want to make sure that you have enough calcium to provide to your baby through breast milk, and then also to provide to your body for your bones to keep your structure strong too. So calcium is a really good supplement to add to your day. So just take one supplement of calcium. Next one is iron. There are some women that do experience anemia during pregnancy. And again, this is just because iron doesn't necessarily get met during like the food that you intake. So again, it's good to just kind of have that backup and have that peace of mind, like, okay, I'm getting iron every day. That doesn't mean don't eat iron-rich foods. It just means to, like, this is a just-in-case sort of deal. So in all honesty, when it comes to iron, I wouldn't recommend something that is just iron itself. I'd recommend like a slow feed iron. So slow feed iron supplement is a supplement that is iron, but it releases when your body needs it, rather than iron just immediately going into your body and just being dispersed. It's released slowly. The reason why I'm recommending one like this instead of just a regular iron supplement is because one, iron can be very harsh on your tummy. So if you do plan on taking just a plain old iron supplement, I would recommend eating something first before you take it. And then another thing too, it can cause constipation. So that's just something to keep in mind, because constipation is not fun during your pregnancy. Which leads me to my third point. Fiber is super necessary during your second trimester. So at this point in time, baby is growing. So you have from 14 weeks to 28 weeks is right where your second trimester is. Now, this is something, so fiber is important because sometimes you may start feeling constipation during this point in time. So it's very important that you're getting the fiber you need so that you can excrete the way you need to, because it's very uncomfortable when you feel like you're backed up. Only reason I'm mentioning this is because once you do get bigger, you kind of like, once you and your baby are getting bigger and you're backed up, it's a very uncomfortable feeling. So make sure you're getting your fiber in. Don't overdo the fiber. Just make sure you're getting fruits and vegetables in. If you feel like you're getting your fruits and vegetables in and you're still not excreting the way you need to, something to keep in mind is that if you are not eating the calories you need, your body doesn't necessarily want to or need to excrete. So back to that first point, if you haven't increased your caloric intake because, for example, say, well, I don't want to eat 300 extra calories, because I'm afraid of gaining weight, like extra weight. That's not the case. Your body actually needs this, and in order for your body to keep functioning the way it needs to, say if you are somebody that poos every day and you want to keep pooing every day, you have to make sure you're getting the calories you and your body needs so that you can excrete the way you normally do. Because if you cut yourself short, you're not going to be excreting, and it's going to be very frustrating. So don't be afraid to eat those calories, because again, those calories are for you and baby growing. Don't fear those calories. But like I said, if you are somebody that does poo every day, which it is highly recommended that you poo every day, make sure that you are getting the food you need, getting the food, calories, and then also fiber. But like I said, if you feel like you are getting your fruits and vegetables in and still nothing's happening, I would definitely recommend chia seeds or flax seeds. So these two options are a great way to get sort of like a natural laxative in without going to a laxative. Laxatives, I try to avoid those because your body can become dependent on those. The goal is that I'm gonna back up. Not only does your body become dependent on a laxative, but you also don't get any nutrients from a laxative. A laxative is literally just to clean everything out. With chia seeds and flax seeds, you actually get your omegas in, which is really good. So good fats for you and your baby. You get protein in, because seeds do have protein. It's not a ton of protein, but you get that extra added protein in the day. With the chia seeds and flax seeds, I would recommend that. Easy way to add those is to either put that in a smoothie if the smoothie is going to be like your snack for the day, or if you want to, which is sometimes what I do, I literally just take a spoonful of chia seeds, chug with water, and then flaxseed, chug with water. Or if you want to do it, you can get like a little glass of juice, mix the two together and just have like a chugging contest. It doesn't, the goal is that you get in the chia seeds and flax seeds. You don't have to do it in a super fancy way. But if you are to do like with water, this would force you to get more water in your day because you are trying to chug and get all the seeds out of your mouth. And like I said, it doesn't have to be super fancy. You just need to get those in if you aren't, if you are having trouble going to the restroom. So those are the two seeds that I would definitely recommend. If you absolutely need to go to a laxative, or a friend is telling you, well, I used a laxative and it was really great, go ahead. You know, all of this is really up to you in the end. But like I said, I try to stay away from those and do something like Earth's natural laxatives, and get nutrition on the way, if that makes sense. So that is my third point. So fiber is super necessary, so just so that you can keep going to the restroom, because like I said, it's very frustrating when you're getting bigger and then you just have poo and you feel gross. So that's just that one. Which leads me to my next point. So water. So water is still very important in this trimester. So you are getting bigger, which means you may be getting hotter, which means, you know, your blood is heavier and thicker, which means your circulatory system needs to work. So water does help with your circulatory system. Also your blood pressure. If you feel like your blood pressure is increasing at this point in time, definitely make sure that you are drinking your water to keep your body cool from the inside out. So I'm going to repeat that. You want to keep your body cool from the inside out. You can put water on yourself and cool yourself down, but really you cool yourself internally before externally. So just make sure that you are getting your water in throughout the day. And I would probably recommend at this point in time to kind of have a water cutoff time. So make sure you're getting the water intake you need for the day. And if you are somebody that goes to bed at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, just giving examples, I'd probably cut your water off at least 30 minutes to an hour before you go to sleep. Only reason I'm saying this is because physiologically, baby is getting bigger and it's going to start sitting on your bladder. So it's not going to be fun for you to be waking up constantly throughout the night. You know, this was something that I could do at one point where I could like chug a thing of water and still sleep through the night. But when you're pregnant, there is hardly any room and that baby is pushing on your bladder. So you need to make sure you have a cutoff time so that you are getting the rest that you need for your baby and you. And just for you to keep your sanity, because it's really, I'm not going to lie to you, it's very kind of frustrating when you're having to wake up and pee like every hour because you drank 8 ounces of water. Like, it's ridiculous. But like I said, you don't have as much bladder capacity, so just be mindful of that. If you are drinking your water, try to drink it throughout the day so that later on in the evening time, you are hydrated and you can sleep peacefully. So again, I'd always recommend at least 67% of your body weight. I'll go ahead and put the calculation here as an example so that you can kind of figure that out for yourself. Next point here is going to be protein. So like I was saying before, if you want to just add more protein to your meals in order for you to get extra calories, I would definitely recommend that. And goal is here with protein is that you're trying to get protein as naturally as possible. So there are some OBs and there are some articles that say you can still take protein supplements, so like a protein shake per day. But I have read that it is also harder to digest for you and also baby. So I would highly recommend getting your protein through natural ways. So meats, legumes, grains, your fruits and veggies, because you do have some protein in those. Seeds are really good too. But just have a variety diet, dairy products, yogurts, cheese, things like that, just to make sure that you are getting the protein in the day. So protein recommendation for you now in the second trimester and going forward is at least 25 grams of extra protein per day. So you need to be consuming at least 25 extra grams per day. So that's an easy way to also increase your calories. So if you're increasing your calories, like I said, try and consume a little more protein so that you're getting your protein needs and your calorie needs for the day. Last thing I wanted to really point out here when it comes to nutrition is that you have a lot of control over your baby's birthing weight, which is really surprising. I learned this with my OB during my first pregnancy. We had talked about it, and she was saying that a lot of babies now are overweight. So a normal healthy baby is about 7.5 pounds, okay? Give or take, a few ounces whatsoever. But it is super important for you to be mindful of your nutrition so that when you give birth to your baby, if you're planning to do it vaginally, that you stay mindful of the things that you eat. So like eat your healthier foods, of course. Choose, there are better options for you to choose. But this kind of helps you. So like if you are somebody, for example, that does plan to have a baby naturally, vaginally, shall I say, it's easy for you and baby. So it's not taking it's not a lot of stress on you and your body. So I thought that was a really cool point. I wanted to just kind of add that as like a side note. Because it does have to do with your nutrition, but just be mindful of that you actually have a lot of control over baby's ending weight. So I'm going to go ahead and give you these ranges really quick. So the ranges when it comes to for like a healthy weight gain for you and baby during pregnancy. So if you are underweight, so this is going to be on my blog too. I'll try to make it a little more simple here. If you are underweight, an average weight gain for you during your pregnancy is 28 to 40 pounds, okay? So that's an underweight person. So an individual that is considered underweight off of the BMI charts, you're looking to gain about 28 to 40 pounds. An individual that is average, so a healthy average individual should be gaining about 25 to 35 pounds during pregnancy. And then an individual that is overweight, so you're considered overweight on that BMI chart, you're looking to gain about 15 to 25 pounds. And then if you're considered obese on the BMI chart, you're looking to gain about 11 to 20 pounds. So if you are lower in weight before pregnancy, you're going to gain a little more. And then if you are bigger with your weight as you get pregnant, you're looking to gain less. Now, BMI charts can be a little funky if you are considered like overweight and you're very fit and healthy. I would just be mindful that that is not going to hit you as well. Like the BMI chart, it can be a little off, if that makes sense. So that's usually like the recommended guidelines. That's pretty much what they go by. But okay. But yeah, so I would just, like I said, you can still be healthy and considered overweight. So just be mindful of that. I would definitely, if you're kind of in that category, just talk to your OB, kind of see like, what should I be looking for in regards to my weight. And don't be afraid to ask your OB, like, how much weight should I be gaining? Some of them may tell you, like, just try not to worry about that too much because, like I've mentioned in my exercise video, you're not working out during pregnancy in order to, like, lose weight. Your goal is just to be healthy for you and your baby over time. So I wouldn't focus too much on the pounds per se unless your OB is giving you, like, hey, we need to start watching your weight, or you get a blood draw that comes back abnormal. That's when things can start kind of like where you need to start changing things. But if everything is reading right so far, your blood draws are okay, there are no concerns anywhere, I would just recommend just staying healthy, just sticking to what you're doing, just balancing exercise and nutrition to kind of get you through your pregnancy. But like I was saying, you do have an impact on your baby's weight, which is huge to think about. Like when my OB told me that, I was like, what? Like I've heard of like 10-pound babies, and that's just because a lot of like what you do, a lot of what you do during your pregnancy plays an impact. Hey guys, so just popping in here really quick. I got cut off on my last video, but I wanted to go ahead and just finish the thought that I had. So the last thought that I had on this video was actually talking about how much control you have over your baby's birthing weight. So this just has to go in with like how you're exercising and how you're eating. So the average birthing weight of a baby is about 7.5 pounds, give or take a few ounces. You can go less or higher. But if you're somebody that is worried about having like a very heavy baby, or you're trying to just have a baby that's healthy, always be mindful that you do have control over your baby. So surprisingly, genetics play about 20 to 30% of what the baby will actually be, and then you have control over that 70 to 80% of what actually happens to baby. So just be mindful of that. I think that is a really good point to make out, because if you are, like I said, worried about having a 10-pounder and you're just like, I don't know if I can handle a 10-pounder, I can totally understand that. That can be a little intimidating. So just know that you do have that control. And like I said, I actually learned this from my OB, that mamas are very in control of the birthing weight of their baby. So it is, like my OB has said, babies are heavier now because people are more obese or more overweight now. So if you are somebody, like I said, that is kind of like, I just want to have a normal baby, gain the weight that I need to during a pregnancy, then just balance your exercise and nutrition. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to finish up this video because I got cut off and I wanted to go ahead and finish those thoughts. But if you do like this information and content, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be making a video for second trimester exercise here soon, so be on the lookout. But if you do like this, definitely share this with other mamas, experienced mamas, so that they know what to be looking forward to when it comes to taking care of themselves during their pregnancy with exercise and nutrition. But just wanted to say I'm really glad I get to share this information with you, and I'm excited to see you on the next video. Bye.